No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. That's a quote from someone who had a tremendous amount of influence on my pursuit of greatness. Guessing it's an NBA legend? Guess again. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds to ever grace this planet. But what does what he said even mean? And how could something a physicist said apply to basketball? Well, I'm glad you asked. When we play a game, we have a certain view of it. I call that self-consciousness. But when we watch film, we see everything our self-consciousness couldn't. That's what I call ultra-consciousness. The goal is to bring our self-consciousness as close to ultra-consciousness as possible. And that's exactly what we'll be doing together here on this series. I'm Anthony Watkins, and welcome to Film School. What's going on, everybody? Anthony here. Hopefully you guys loved that intro. Just leave some feedback in the comments. Hopefully it got you excited for this new series. And in a lot of ways, I feel like this might help me more than it'll help you guys. Just because they say the last step to learning is actually teaching. So this is gonna definitely help me break my film down even further and see some things that I might have not even seen, which in this off season is very valuable for me, and I'm happy to do it. So, without any further ado, let's get right into the first clip here. All right, so right here we have a ball screen going to my left, and this is where you really notice the difference between the professional game and the high school game. In high school, uh, screens for me were just an opportunity for me to score, and I wasn't really making any reads unless it was, a scoring read. So here, as a lead guard, I have a lot bigger job than just scoring. You know, I have to be a threat to score, but B, I also have to see what's going on around me, and I got to see this big who's gonna roll right here in a second, and I have to make a good pass to him if he's open. If he's not open, I have to look for other options. All right, so now I've done my job. I've done my job. The big has committed, and now it's up to me to make a play. All right, so I got to put my big in the best position to score out of this as possible. You know, games at the professional level are games of runs, so we need every bucket that we can get, especially out of a pick and roll, a layup that could end up being an and one. We need all those points. All right, so this is kind of cool because at the beginning of the season, I probably would have said I did my job here. But look at how far away the big had to stray from his path to get that pass I threw to him, you know? And look at his angle towards the basket now. He has to redirect himself to now get a chance to score. That gives this big right here plenty of time to recover and make a contest. And we have a tendency to downplay these type of things and minor errors during the game. And of course, in the game, I didn't realize any of these things, but these are the things we really want to clean up because at the end of the day, this was a tight game towards the end of the game. So this play should have ended up in a dunk. That big right there should have gotten posterized, should have been an and one. Other team would have had to call timeout because our home crowd was so into the game. But what ended up happening was he gets the rebound and puts it back in. It's not as big of a momentum play, and once you get to the professional and even to the college level, it's all about momentum plays. Those are the plays that give you the separation you need, let you get that 10-point, 20-point cushion, and then the coach has the opportunity to really coach and take the air out of the game, and you can run your sets, and it's just a mind game from there. But we need those momentum plays early on, especially to get that separation. All right, So next play, another ball screen. And here we have multiple right answers. Okay. So I've attracted two, but I'm in the middle of splitting them. We see my big here on the opposite block, wide open. He can get a layup right there. But also, you know, that's a wide open lane for me to score as well. So it really just depends on my balance and what's the best play for the team and what is really going on in the flow of the game. And like I said before, it's all about momentum and in this case also chemistry. So, what decision is going to help my team the most? And these are the things you want to think about when you're watching film so that you don't have to think about them in the game. So here I had scored already on the possession before and was starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm. And it was also my first game with this team. So me, especially at this point, being a score first guy, um, I'm looking to score. I want to show the fans that I'm an aggressive player and want to get the crowd involved. We're starting to separate. So that was a good chance for me to get the crowd even more excited, and I think they're going to be more excited by the, dipsy do spin move into a finish rather than the spin into a pass into a finish. It's a high paced play. The fans really enjoy those type of things. Obviously I don't have the time to process that in the game, and this is, I'll admit, isn't really a super crucial read, but if you do go into the professional level of the game, like I said, it's a big thing with runs. So depending on how this game is going, that could be a crucial thing. For instance, if my big, who was our leading scorer on this team, was struggling, I, as a point guard, have to understand that and be like, okay, let's get him involved, whether I scored 2 or 3 in a row or not. We need him to get involved in the game and feel like he's involved because not only was he our leading scorer, but he was also our leading rebounder. So we need him involved in the game because if he ever gets disengaged, we lose the rebounding battle. We were an undersized team a lot of the times running 6'4", 6'5" guys at the four. So, we needed him to be a dog on the glass, and he's a walking double-double. So him getting those easy points, if he hasn't really been involved in the game, could be the exact thing we need to turn the game around or to, just blow the lead even more open. And those are the things that you don't talk about in high school. High school, it's all about right and wrong. And, here I think a high school coach would say, yeah, you were right. Good job. You scored the ball. And I don't disagree with that. But this game is so much more nuanced than that. And I think that's what makes it really beautiful. And it's why I'm just so in love with it. But I'm going to cut it right there. Let me know any questions you might have or any feedback and how you guys liked this format. Um, Also, be sure to tune in to the Fresh Squeeze podcast tomorrow. We'll be having a new episode there. And I appreciate all of you guys who've been supporting this channel. It's been really fun for me and Melvin. And hopefully, you guys got something out of it. I know I did. Looked at these clips in a way I never had before. And stay tuned for another episode of Film School on Thursday. And obviously, the Fresh Squeeze tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed day.